In 2020, IRCC had opened this program and lot many people had applied and not everyone got invited instantly. So they have been doing this batch by batch. Now, in our case, we applied for the parents, grandparents program like anyone else in 2020, but we were not invited. And we had to wait till October 2023. That's when the invitation was sent to us and we had time to submit our documents. So we took time. There were inconsistencies with name. In some case, the date of birth field only started after 1900, and we had some of the family members' date of birth even before that. And then there was no passport, so we had to apply for passport, and this could not be done within the time frame when the application was being submitted. So all in all, everything in detail I have covered in my video. Got the COPR in March of 2025, which is the current month. And with this, it's all ready for our family member to fly and come to Canada, land here on Canada with COPR. And from the day they land, they will be PR in Canada. So this is the entire timeline. All the videos which I have made, I have organized and shared that in the description. And also you can find in my website where I have tried to organize everything. For parent and grandparent PR program, you will get an email from IRCC just like this. And in this email, you have this link. I will leave the link in the description. Once you click here, you come to this portal where you can choose the language, English or French. And once you come down, you will have to create a username and password. If you already have, you can log in. But in most cases, you'll have to create a new username and password. Okay. As you can see, this portal is supported on Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Safari browser. So once you create your username and password, that is your email and password, you enter the password and then confirm the password. Make sure that it has minimum 8 characters and whatever instruction is given, you'll see a right tick when everything is complete, and then you can go and accept and create account. So once you click on create account, you get a verification code on your email ID, and that verification code you enter here. If you don't get it, resend or change your email ID. Once you create this, you get this message. On this portal, you come and enter your username and password. And once you enter your username and password, click sign in. So on this page, okay, this is the page where you can submit your permanent resident application. So down here, you have the application process for permanent residence. Click here, start new app. And then here you have to complete the form. And once you come down here, it will be family category under which you are applying. It will be parents and grandparents. And then application name, can give any name, continue. Your profile page, you will choose the preferred language of correspondence, either English or French. Okay, I have chosen English. Then when it comes to the family name, given name, date of birth, this will be straight out of the passport of the applicant. Now, in this case, the applicant is either your father or your mother or grandparents. Whoever it is, their name will come, and you see the name will be entered. Date of birth will be entered in the correct format, and sometimes the family name doesn't exist in some of the individuals' case. All you have to do is enter XXXXX, okay, when there is no family name. Otherwise, just write as it is in the past. This should help. Then comes the mailing address. Here the PO box is not mandatory, so is apartment, street number, and as it is entered in the document which you will be submitting, in most of the cases it is the passport. The same way the address is written, just make an entry. Straightforward. There's no confusion here. If the residential address is different, then you choose no and enter the detail. If not, you keep it yes. And then the spouse, partner or dependent file that will get filled. Click here, add dependent. Now fill the spouse or partner dependent detail. Here, add spouse or dependent information. Is the dependent accompanying you? Your response, yes or no. I have selected yes here. And then relationship to principal applicant. Here is a drop down. Choose whichever is appropriate and go and read this. In case you have any question, do comment. I will respond to that. And selected spouse. Then the family name, given name, date of birth as it is given in the past. Same thing gets entered here, making sure when we submit the passport as the document, it matches. If the name has changed or something, as we proceed with the video, you'll get to know how to do that. Once this is done, save. So you see here, this detail has come, save and continue. So this is where the actual application form starts. Okay, you have, see, these are the forms which will have to be filled. Let me just take you down and see here. These are the forms. Okay, see here. Right now it shows in progress. You can come and edit anytime in case you feel that there is some correction required. And then once you come down, see here, there are download form. We will go one by one. And then there are application form. We will see what all are applicable here. What are the supporting document for the immigration program and how the upload will happen. If there are any additional supporting documents, some cases you want to give some additional information, how that supporting document gets added, all those things we will talk about as we proceed. Then there is a fee payment and declaration. So let's go one by one. First, the IMM00, go to edit. So on this page, you can see here, since it's going to take little time, don't worry. In case you have to exit at any point, all you have to do is make sure you save till the time where you have filled in everything and you can resume that again. I'll show you later. So that's what this instruction also, says. And before you start, have some of the documents in hand. Once you go through this video, you will know what those documents are. Let's continue. And here, whatever was filled, the correspondence detail is here. Interview, the language, here it is. I'm selecting English. In case you want to choose any other language, you can choose that. Okay, in case parents are not comfortable speaking in English. And you can also do a interpreter rest. Here I'm saying no. Select the option what you want to choose. Come down, province and territory. This is where you live. So I'm selecting Ontario and city as Mississauga. I select Mississauga. And then once that is done, save and continue. Personal detail, what was filled earlier, the same thing comes here. Have you ever used any other name? Example, nickname, maiden name, alias. The answer is no here. If you have yes, then additional detail will be asked. What? Those details. Here you say whatever the option is, I select no. And in case of the parent and grandparent, the UCI number is not there. So I'm leaving this blank and come down here. Physical characteristics, sex, you choose. Eye color. If you're not very sure, just pick whichever is the closest one. Speak to parent and check whichever is the closest. Okay. And height in centimeters, whatever that is, you enter that. And then the birthday information is already filled here based on what was entered earlier. Place of birth, you enter the place of birth and country. Once this is done, come down, citizenship, you select from the drop down, and country, again you select the drop down. Here I have selected India, and then current country of residence, you select from the drop down. India status is citizen. So choose whatever is in your case with your parent. This is the drop. Then previous country of residence. During the past 5 years, have you lived in any other country other than your country of citizenship or your current country of residence? Indicate above for more than 6 months. In my case, the response is no. If it is yes, then you have to answer country, what the immigration status is. Okay, this is the drop down, and you fill the start date and the end date of detail. And if it is more than one country, then you fill by clicking add another. Here I am choosing no. And then marital relationship and status, the current marital status gets shown in case you want to go and change. Okay, in case sometimes the status changes. So make sure you're choosing the most appropriate here. I'll leave it as married. And here, this is the date of marriage. Okay, you see, provide the date on which you were married or entered into common law. So enter that date. Okay. So once you enter the date, family name, given name, this was already filled. And then next question is, have you previously been married or in a common law relationship? The answer here is no. In case it is yes for you or your parent, select that and then you will be asked some more questions. So once this is done, save and continue. For contact information, the primary telephone number, as I said, wherever it is asterisk, it is important and has to be entered. You can choose the option. Here I have chosen other, and then type of contact, this drop down, I chose cellular, whichever is appropriate, you choose that. Then country code, here I've entered India country code and the number to phone. Okay, so once that is done, alternate telephone number, I've kept Canada number and that entry is made. As if I'm down, fax, I have kept blank in case you want to enter that. And then do you want us to contact using email address for this account? I am choosing yes. It becomes easy to have everything communicated on email. You can choose the option, whatever it is, and then click save and continue. Passport or a travel document, it has to be a valid document. What it means, let me show you. When you click yes here, your passport detail have to be entered as it is shown in your passport. Passport oblique travel document number. So if it is alphanumeric in your passport, once you open, you will be able to see how that is written and exactly you make that entry. And then country of issue, India, issue date, for example, this is the issue date and this is the expiry. So everything as it is given in the passport gets checked and entered. Now you see here, we are submitting the application, and after submission also, this expiry date is much beyond. It's almost having 4 years of cushion, which is a good one. If you see that the passport is very near to the expiry, because this process is going to take little time, it is a good idea to get a renewed passport. Once you renew, if you're going for 10 years validity, you would see that if it is 2024, it will be valid till 2034. So it's a good cushion to have. This tip you can, give it a thought. And once you enter this, you can go and click save and continue. Now, for example, let me go back and say I don't have a passport. Okay. In that case, the answer would be no. Once I select no and I come to national identity document, again, for example, in India, people get Aadhaar card. And Aadhaar card is a 12-digit identification number that can be entered in the national identification document, this serial number 5. And again, that would have country of issue, issue date, and expiry date. For example, the Aadhaar card don't have an expiry date, or you have any other document where the expiry date is not mentioned. So what you need to do is just you have to enter 9999 and for the month 12, and then you can enter any date. So that makes it a valid document. In case there is no expiry date written, make sure you enter year as 9999 followed by month and day, and that will make a document valid. This is one tip you can consider. So entering details what were there and then save and continue. As I said, for the national identification document, you can choose the option. If you say yes, like I showed about Aadhaar, the document number, country of issue, issue date and expiry date, all this have to be filled, and these are mandatory fields. So if there is no expiry date, you can just make a mention of 9999 and then month, maximum month is 12 months. So enter 12, and date you can enter in date and save. This will be valid. So here I'm saying no in case you don't want to show or give the national identity document. Then go and continue. Passport has all the information, and if you're comfortable sharing your details like Aadhaar, then you can choose yes, fill the detail. Otherwise, choose no. It is up to you. Save and continue. For the education and occupation, select the education from this drop down, whichever is the closest one. I have chosen master's degree, and then the number of years for the education in total. So you can check with your parent and then make an entry. If parents had schooling till 12th standard, in some cases schooling earlier were only till 11th standard, and then degree or engineering of 4 years, and then master's. Accordingly, you calculate and make an entry here. And then occupation, what is the current occupation? In case they are retired, make an entry as retired. If they're working, whatever the occupation is, make that entry, and intended occupation. Here I have shown for someone who is retired and wants to come and live a retired life, stream gets made as. So once this is done, save and continue. Then comes the language detail. From the drop down, choose the language. Okay, so I've chosen the language here. And then are you able to communicate in English and or French? Select the appropriate from this, both English, French, or neither. So I've chosen English. Have you taken test for designated testing agency to assess your English or French skill? I have chosen no here. Save and go to the dependent section. And here, if you want to add, edit, or remove a spouse or partner from your application, you must make the changes in your profile page. So once you click here, you'll go to the initial profile page, which I had shown at start. Now for the dependent, this was filled already and it shows status as missing information. Click on edit. Here, the personal detail, some of them are already filled. See here, will the dependent accompany the principal applicant? Earlier, the response was yes, so it shows up here. Relationship is also pre-filled. Family name, given name, and then this is something you'll have to select. Have you ever used any other name? Here, the response is no. In case there have been name, then you select yes, and accordingly you answer. UCI, I have left it blank, and then physical characteristic. Again, fill in the detail. Here I'm showing you sex, eye color, and heights in centimeter. The birth information is already pre-filled, what was entered earlier. Place of birth, you make an entry. Country of birth is a drop down, and then you have citizenship detail. You select from the drop down. Country, I'm showing India. Citizenship, India. Country, India. And current country of residence also as India, and status as citizen. In case there is any change, you go and select what is the most appropriate one for you. Okay. Then once you come down, previous country of residence, the response is no. If it is yes, you'll have to make those entries in the marital and relationship status. This married gets selected, or whichever is, appropriate that you get selected. Then when the date of marriage was done, make sure this entry matches with the date of marriage entry which was done earlier. Okay, sometimes people make mistakes here. So family name, given name is entered. Have you previously been married or in common law relationship? The response is no. You can choose whatever it is and come down, complete. Then the education details get filled. Okay, as you see here, I have filled already. This is the drop down. Select from the drop down. Here I'm showing current occupation for mother as housewife and intended occupation as. So once this is done, continue. And then the language details have been filled. The native language from the drop down, the language which is known. In case both English and French are not known, select neither. And then have you taken test from designated testing agency to assess English or French skill? Response as no. And then do you have a valid passport travel document? Get the response, choose the appropriate response as I showed earlier when filling up for the father. And in case it is yes, select yes, enter all details, passport, and then followed by national identity document. I will not show you both of this because it's a repetition, just making sure that whatever document you have matches exactly same here. Now, once all details are filled, you see it shows status as complete. So you can click complete and return to application. As you keep filling application and keep submitting, your status is changed like this. You see here, we have completed this form, which is the general application form, and it shows ready to submit. Now we have to fill remaining form. So let's go to the next one, which is IMM 5406, additional family information. So this is again a mandatory for all program. Let's click here, edit. This form captures all the information related to your family, that is parents, children, spouse, siblings. And if you look at here, principal applicant allowed the form for yourself and on behalf of any of your family member 18 years of age who are not already Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Okay, so except those who are Canadian citizen and permanent resident, all other detail will have to be filled. How this is going to help tomorrow, if any of your family member here, they want to visit Canada and they say that my family is in Canada, it is a way of indicating that the information is already there in the system. Okay, so there might be other things which I will not go much in detail. And if this is not applicable, okay, this information is not applicable, just write. So here I will show one of the form getting filled. The other one I will leave it as it is. But in case you have it is like this, you'll have to fill both. Okay, so just to make it short this video, go to edit. Here I will show one of the form getting filled. The other one I will leave it as it is. But in case you have it is like this, you'll have to fill both. Okay, so just to make it little easy and short this video, go to edit. So this section A is for the parent, section B is for children, and section C is for sick. In section A, full name, date of birth, come down, these are pre-filled, and then country or territory of birth you have to enter. I will show India here. Marital status, right? These are the options. Choose best option, what think it is. Might get confused with married, not physically present. This is for people who are already there as PR in Canada and they are getting their spouse to chat. In that case, the spouse is not physically present with them. So don't confuse with that. I'm showing here marital status is married, physically present. That is Bhushan Kumar, married to, and same has been entered here also. But before that, the address. Okay, so the address is mentioned here, matches with what was entered earlier at the start. Okay, then in the relationship, spouse, common law partner or legal partner. The full name, date of birth is pre-filled, country is entered, the status from the drop down, and then email address. If you want to enter the email address, you can enter or you can leave it blank. This is not mandatory as you can see. And then the address is provided which matches with what was entered earlier. Now this is relationship mother. Okay, here mother's name gets entered. This is for Bhushan Kumar's mother. Okay, clear. And then the date of birth, year, month and date format. Country is entered. Marital status, in case sometimes parents are not surviving, in case parents are no more, then the option not Apple, choose it or select one of the. Email is not mandatory, and in case it is deceased, you have to give city or town, country, and date. Here I have shown date of death and the date. Okay, so same thing, father. Okay, dates get entered, date of birth, country, status, mail ID is not there, and then the address and date of. So once this is done, save, and same goes for children. Enter the relationship, daughter, son, whatever it is. Then the full name gets written, date of birth gets written, country, marital status will be dropped down, and email address. This is not mandatory. Then their address. So once this is done, you can add, if you have more than one children, for each one you will create this add another form and keep here. So once this is done, even and same for sibling, here you show brother, sister, whatever the relationship is, and then fill the details. Okay, so I'm not repeating this. You can fill it in how it was filled earlier, then save and continue. Now this will get filled for all the names what you see in this list, and once that is done, you complete and return to app. Now once you do that, you see this section says ready to submit, and the next section is in progress. And 5669. This is very detailed application. Once we go in, a lot of form needs to be filled. Schedule A, background and declaration. So you have education, membership in associations, government positions, criminal history, military service, and addresses. So for this video, I will not touch military service. I'll make a separate entry for military service, because again, this is a very detailed information. And in case somebody has a military service, they will ask not once, twice, 3 or 4 times repeatedly based on their military service. So you have to prepare for that. I will not be touching that in this video. I'll make a separate video and link will be in the description, or you can check this the site. So come here, click edit. See here, this is pre-filled your full name in native language. Just how to translate English name to your native language. Say if you are Hindi speaking and to write English script, all you have to do is go to the class. So once you enter name here, it will show you how it is. All you need to do is copy and click. You see here, this is how this script will get. It is any other language, come to Google Translate, make sure you select that language, and same way through you can get the name. Then birth information is already pre-filled here, and detail of father, mother, this is a repetition. So I'm not entering anything here, but in case you have this information filled before, you will have to fill this that straightforward, no much, issue doing this. So while this is done, save and continue. So the section B question is basically asking information to check there is any issue that you bring when you come to. Okay? Are you safe for it? If you have any of the answer as yes, then it will invite further scrutiny. So read this carefully. Have you been convicted of crime or offense in Canada? I'm choosing here as no. You have to select correct response. All here and electing. So here it says being convicted of or any currently charged with trial for party to crime or offense or subject of any criminal proceeding in any other country. Or so answer is no. In case the answer is yes, then we be asked little detail to be explained in the book. So you'll have to choose. If you have any question, the comment section. I might guide you. Right person can give you further input on what. So once you come down here again, said no for refugee, no for this. Have you been refused admission, Canada or any other? No. Being involved in act of genocide, war crime, the response is no. Or any of this thing, then you know what's to happen. Any armed struggle or violence to reach political, religious, or social objective. So this is not related to military. As I said, military comes here. Okay, so we are not at for military part. So the response here is no. Being associated with group that uses or advocate armed struggle or violence, no. And again, here all I have is no. Because there is any yes, then this section will get utilized. And that is done. Save and. So for the education, elementary is how many years that is entered. Secondary school, how many years that is entered. University or college, that has to be mentioned. So if it is bachelor's plus master's, combined years are written, and whatever that is, then if trade school or other post-secondary school there, that also gets okay. So I will not go into much detail for each of secondary or post-secondary university, college, any training you have had, you'll have this. So whatever certificate is available, same detail gets entered from name of the institution, city, country, type of certificate or diploma, what is, and field of study. So here all those details will come. Remember, no English credential detail has been asked. Just enter whatever details you have, case, whatever detail you have, and keep adding for each of the section. Make sure you add everything. Don't out any of it. So once that is done, save and. So this personal history section, right? This will be for the last 10 years. Here, read this carefully. It has to be for last 10 years on since you're 18. So in this case, you would see that this is for an elderly person. So I'm showing accordingly, but make sure if different in your case for every single company which person has worked. Here I'm showing almost 11 years data, where from 2012 to 2023, the activity is shown as retired, and city, town, country is city, town, country shown as India, status in country as citizen, and name of the company employer. In this case, not in your case, the last 10 years, there is any work or company, that detail will come and everything has to be filled out. So make sure you do this entry properly without any mistake. Not going to material in this. It's straightforward. You have to save and continue. Same with membership. If any affiliation is there with any organization, that detail has to come. If it is not there, just leave it as it is. And even same with government position. See here, it will have to be filled if individual has worked with. So from and to, it will have to be entered, which country or jurisdiction, that detail has to be given to the detail, what department and what very. So this is again to gauge you are safe for Canada. So whatever the detail is, make sure fill that date here. And then even, as I said, I will make a separate video for military and paramilitary service, because this is again a very detailed information sharing session, which I would like to bring, because here many people struggle. Government is still easy. enter all details. With military and paramilitary service, if you have been with military or paramilitary service, there are detailed information which is asked. So it is better that you prepare everything once and keep it so that you have only one communication. Makes the work easy for the other person and one for you. You don't have to keep preparing this schedule again and again. So I will make a separate video for this, but just for you can see this here. It looks very basic, but there are no details which are asked, which it is better you prepare much in advance. Okay, so once that is done, save and continue. And then the address part. Again, we will not go much in detail into the address part because not make any mistake. I usually make an Excel sheet and make sure that I don't give any date gap address. So that way I'm ensuring that every single date gets whatever address you have stayed in past 10 years. Okay, that detail. So it does not have to be exactly 10 years. If it is going beyond 10 years and you have stayed, you can add that as a safety cushion. And this will help. It is 10 years or since your 18th birthday. Do not use your box. Address part is again very simple. Be able to do everything you enter. See here, all these details are already. So the date when addresses with this date, address also gets completed. But in your case, if it is more than one address, make sure to add those addresses one after the other. Best way, as I said, I do is I have an Excel sheet because all these references you will require once everything starts. The process starts, you need to have everything handy. So once this is done, save and continue. And now you see we'll have to fill for the other person, which I will avoid repetitive, complete and to applicate. So IMM 556, this is related to your travel. So once you start here, tourism, business, training or any other reason, and detail is required for any travel which is outside of your home country or where you lived last 10 years or since your 18th birthday, whichever is more recent. Okay, so come down here and continue. Enter the applicant name. You enter the principal applicant's name, and then not travel. It will not travel, just not travel, and everything taken care. If you have traveled, then for each trip you need to get your passport and make sure entries are made correctly. When did it start? Year and month only. When did it end? The year and month. What was the destination of that country? How long you were there, and purpose of travel, business, leisure. So that detail you have to. Again, in case you have traveled to multiple country, my suggestion is make an Excel sheet, have columns created for from to, destination, length and purpose of travel. Fill that up and then come and fill the details. Okay. That way you'll not make any mistake. I'm a big fan of Excel sheet. All data I capture on. So once you fill trip detail is more than one, you can add it. Okay. For each of the applicant, you have to fill in the section. Once that is done, here I have shown did not travel. One that is done, save and continue. And for the spouse or common law partner, and so for the spouse or common law partner, again same details gets filled. In case there is no travel, then you select did not travel, and if you have traveled, then you uncheck this box and fill all the detail of any visit you have. Under sure it matches with your passport, because you won't be submitting your passport as a valid document and all pages be there. So make sure you make all the correct. Same thing for the children or dependent, even who is near or older. Case you have declared, you'd have to for them also. Okay, so make sure correct. Here I am selecting did not travel. Okay, and even once done, not travel, then happy. Then you see all the status here has changed to ready to submit. And in case you want to do any edit, you can always come back and do the edit. No issue at all. Want to delete this entirely, you have an option to delete this entirely once you go to the profile page. That is the first. Don't worry until you have submitted the form. All good. You can edit, you can delete whatever needs to be done. Any update which is to be done, you can. Now again, the PDF form section shows as required, and here right, once you download the form to you will get this message. That's because you have opened either in Chrome or Safari. So you don't have to worry about this. All you have to do is just download. Once you open this with Acrobat Reader, yes, will. So you will get this application where you have to fill the details. Since the form and document what are required, the list is too many. What I'll do is I'll make separate video for each of the form. I will show you how the form is getting filled. My request to you is use this as an example and make it customized for the document what is required in your scenario. Okay, these are just examples that I am giving based on what information is already available on. So you see these forms are shown as required. So I have uploaded this form. I'll show how these getting filled for you to get some idea of how the document works. Then there are additional application form which you can go here and search from this drop down, and whichever you think you will have to add, you can just go and click and add that document. Okay, so every document has a download. Once you click download, you will get this kind of message. Don't worry. Once the download is complete, just go right click and open in Acrobat Reader and that form bit. So there are supporting document section which are again required, and the document labeling, right? Let me show you that. You have to do document labeling properly for the person who is going to look at this document. For supporting document, again, it shows as required, and this has to be labeled in a specific way, which is given here. I show you how I have done the labeling and how you can customize to acceptable file types, which are given here: PDF, JPEG, and DOC, etc. And then how to make this to the maximum file size which is acceptable to upload. If you have anything more than 4 MB, then it will not get uploaded. So you'll have to keep it less than 4 MB for each of you. So that I will show to you, and how photo has to be of this pixel size minimum. Again, that also I will show you. Each of the videos that I am going to make separate will be there in the description as link. Also on the YouTube channel, you will be able to find that. If not, go and check website where I will leave the link for you to easily navigate and find the information. So supporting document, again, these are document which are listed here, which has to be uploaded, whatever is applicable in your case. And then you also have an additional supporting document section where once you click here, have this long list of drop down. Okay, so based on what is required for you, you'll have to go and select one by one. Don't worry, each of this in detail will be in a video so that you can customize based on what is required for it. So as you see from this drop down, I selected police certificate and clearance. It got added. So let me just delete this. If I type police, see here, you will see this upload section here. Accordingly, you can go and customize based on what is required here. So this entire list is a supporting document. In case you feel some additional information is going to help with the PR application, do it by all means. The more information you give, more clarity you give, it helps the person on the other side go through the document and take so the entire list which I have shown here, and I will show you how to upload, which is very simple. How to do the naming convention, that also I will show you. And then the next step is fee payment. Okay, and for the fee payment, how for payment has to be done, and the declaration which has to be done for form it's submitted. Each of the document what you download will have a number like this, and that document once you open, fill and save, it becomes a digital copy which you can go and upload, which I will show you. And for the supporting document, you see here last name followed by first name and then what document it is. Just given you few of the list here. The list could be even more, and that's why I said you can customize based on what document is required from your end. And you can see the size. You see here, these are all PDF, and you will be able to see what size it is. It has to be less than 4. All of this file is less than 4 MB. For the supporting document, again, I'll make a video how to convert a Word file to PDF, or how to resize on the MS Paint any photo or any of the JPEG image you want to size. How that is done, I will show in a separate video. You see here, the attachments have been uploaded. This is the upload section where you click and attach the file. Once you do that, the file comes in seriously here. In case you want to release, you have to click here and then you can use it. Okay, so you see here for the form, this is the filled form. For this form, this is the filled. Again, for the additional application form, I have attached these forms which I filled. And then once you come down for the recommended document labeling, you see here, I had shown how this was done. Each of the document has an attachment, then uploaded, and the name also shows up along with the type of document it is, PDF, those kind of. There is an additional supporting document section. It has been, whatever is uploaded will show up here, and if it is exceeding the permissible limit, will not show up. That is one way to know if documents have been uploaded or not. As I said, you can replace, delete any of the file anytime. If you don't want to attach a document, you can just click here to delete. If you want to replace a document, delete here, upload the new document. The fee payment part, which is again a required section. Once you click here, pay your fee, you'll be taken to this page, and here just check these steps. They're very simple steps which are very given. What options you have, credit or debit card, then pay your fee. You have two options to choose from. Go and can read this at your own time. Option 2 is you're sure what you want. Just go on the drop down. Okay, to make a selection, get to see the list of fee, do the payment. Once you're done with the payment, you upload that proof of payment here. Once that upload is done, as you can see here, again with the correct naming convention, to come down here for the declaration where you click start and then fill the detail like I have shown here. Okay, so you fill the detail, the applicant's full name is written, and then complete and return to application. So once all the section is filled, you see here, and you come down, last part is to submit your application, and that's it.